Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. My name is Nuruddin Sani, the author of Learner Motivated Approach to Biology for Senior Secondary School students. At the same time, the author of Learner Motivated Approach to Basic Science for Junior Secondary School. I'm here to present on biology content under the umbrella of EID Extension Program powered by Exponential Computer. This presentation is for SS2 and the content to be presented is on first term week 2 and 3. Classification of plant. Classification of plant based on life cycle. There are so many criteria by which plant can be classified. Plant can be classified based on their life cycle and based on their primary uses. Classification of plant based on their life cycle. A plant's lifespan begins with its germination and continues until it bears a fruit and eventually die up. So all this happens in a seasons or 2 or more. Hence, plants are classified into 3 types based on life cycle, namely. So in short, when we say life cycle of the plant, it begins from sowing of the seed, germination of the seed into seedlings, growing of the seedling into matured plants, as well as a level when the plant will begin to produce flowers, which are the reproductive organs of a flowering plant, and that flowers will carry out the process known as pollination, leading to fertilization and then leading to the formation of seed or fruit. So the life started from seed. The plant life cycle started from the seed germination. From seed germination passing through seedlings. From seedling passing through maturation. And then at maturity, the plant will begin to produce flowers. And these flowers are the reproductive organs of the plant that produce new seed again and fruits. So for plant to fast, for the life cycle of the plant to be completed, it must pass through 2 successive stages: vegetative growth and reproductive growth. Vegetative growth is a growth in plants when it bears leaves, stem development, root developments, branchinal developments, while reproductive growth is a point at maturity when the plant will begin to produce flowers. And that flowers are the reproductive organs of angiosperms, which play a crucial role toward formation of seed and fruits following the event of pollination and fertilization. So, on the basis of life cycle, we said we can classify the plant into 3 major groups. The annuals. When we say annuals, as its name, complete their life cycle within a single season. That means the plants will from seed to flowering. Their development start from seed to flowering. It takes 1 growing season. That means in 1 year. Within 1 year, it finish everything. Meaning that the seed, planting the seed, germination of the seed, passing through vegetative growth, going to flowering growth or reproductive growth, it takes place within a year. They grow, bear fruits, and die off in 1 season. Generally, most herbs exhibit this type of life cycle. Example of plants that show annual life cycle or a life cycle. Examples: we have maize, we have rice, we have millets, and many grasses are examples. So generally all cereals, when we say cereals, we often refer to as hatsi. So all of them, they undergoes annual life cycle. Another way of classifying the plant on the basis of life cycle is biennials or biannuals. Biennials are plants which end their life cycle at the end of the second season. That means they started their growths in one growing season, but it will not be completed. The life cycle will not be completed until it enters into the second season. They need 2 years to complete their entire growths. The first year, they germinate, grow roots, stem, and leaves. This means that in the first year, they do their vegetative growth. When we say vegetative growth, that means growth of fat, growing of fat of the plants which do not have direct linkage to reproduction, sexual reproduction. That means body growth. That is what we call vegetative growth. That means growth of the roots, growth of the stem, growth of the leaves are all vegetative growth. So later in the second year, they yield flowers and bear fruits. So this flowering stage is the point when the plant is mature and is ready for reproduction. So the flower will lead to the formation of fruits and seed. All herbs are not annuals. All herbs are not annuals. Some are perennials and like spinach. Along with herbs, biennials also include certain shrubs like carrots, radish, etc. So in short, biennial plants or biannual plants are plants uh, uh, that grow or that finish their life cycle within 2 growing seasons, or first year vegetative growth, second year flowering growths. Then we have perennials. Perennials are vegetation having a life cycle of more than 2 seasons. Once they grow and start to produce fruits, they continue this life cycle for a long period of time. They do not die after bearing fruits. They renew their fats season after season. So what are we saying here? We are saying that this type of plant, their life cycle is continuous, unlike the annuals and biannuals, which when they attain reproductive age, bearing flowers, as soon as the flowers finish their job, the plant will die out. While perennials, they can stand for many years, repeating their pattern of their life cycle. Typical example of these perennials are mango, coconut tree, neem. Most tree plants are perennials. So therefore now in a nutshell, we can say all annuals are herbs, biennials shrubs, while perennials are tree plants. Classification of plants based on their uses. We can also classify plants on the basis of their uses. Food crops and non-food crops. So what are food crops? Food crops are plants grown primarily for the harvesting of many fats which is used by man as food or processed into food products. This classification is collective term for crops. They are variously sub-classified into smaller groups such as cereals, root and tubers. When we say cereals here, we mean all grass family plant like maize, millet, guinea corn, which in Hausa we often refer to as hatsi, that is cereals. And then we have root and tubers crops. So root and tubers crop refers to underground storage structure, or underground carbohydrates that grow under the ground. So typical example of these root and tubers, we have cassava, we have yam, potato, and the rest of them. Legume seed crops, sugar crop, beverage crops, fruit crops, and vegetables are all food crops, and they are all edible. Non-food crops, plant grown for the production of non-food products such as fiber, fodder, alcohol, tobacco, industrial oil, rubber, gums, and resins, drugs, etc., or for ornamentation. That means for beautification of the environment. Included in this classification are fiber crops, pasture and forage crops, rubber, latex, and gum crops, dye and tannins crops, biofuel, essential oil, biocidal crops, and most industrial crops. So in a nutshell, any edible plants or edible plants are under food crops, and the other plants which are non-edible, they are being cultivated either for ornamentation purpose, beautification of the environment, or for ornamentation or ornamentation or for commercial purposes, are referred to as non-food crops. Thank you for listening.